Alrighty guys, it is finally time to begin. Name's Douglas, Doug for short, and here on this channel we're on fire, talking about things that interest us, galvanize us, and get us going. And mine happen to be all things languages and video games, which put together make for awesome videos where I help you guys see how awesome it is to play the same games you've known for a couple of decades, as have I, and re-experience them pretty much in another language. Things really are different. It's not simply, some functional differences where it's like they remove a block or two, and, they just reimagine the game pretty much. It's like the same story but rewritten, it's a little eerie in a lot of ways where it's like, damn, it's the same thing, but it's not, so I hope you guys can appreciate this the same way I do. The Japanese language really is beautiful, it's really cool, but so is English, and the art of translation is never perfect. So, let me quote Pericari, but like, appropriate it to what I want to say. A translator's job is never done. Another, what should it be? Another article, duly delivered. Here we go. I messed it up, but you get what I'm saying. So, today, we're delving into this 3 double-page spread of Paper Mario the Thousand-Year Door, and this magazine called Nintendo Dream. As you can see, Mario's front and center, which means we gotta look into things. The game has just come out. It's been a week. The reviews are in, and people love this game. Obviously they do. Yeah, I love it all the same way I did back in 2004. So without further ado, let me just stop yapping and explain how things are gonna go. First, a magazine is a great entry point when it comes to Japanese because the language is really sensitive to the medium it's in. And a magazine, especially when there's an article on the game that's just come out, it's definitely going to be bombastic, and everything's going to be exaggerated and non-standard and not exactly the way you speak or write normally, So, conversely, there are going to be a lot of kanji, and I am a kanji buff. I love kanji, and I'm raring to go, as in ready to explain what they are, each and every one of them, and just help you guys appreciate the awesomeness of kanji. Why not? Yeah, there are lots of things we'll explore. We'll see some similarities and differences between games here and there. One of my first videos is going to be about this game in particular, where we're going to dissect every single speech bubble I come across, pretty much. And yeah, but that's for later. Let me just jump into this game, the world of this game, and use this magazine as the entry point, because I feel like it's going to be great for you guys to take a look at how Japanese looks in a magazine and how different it is in the game already. So, let's start. So, let us stop staring at this and actually begin talking. So, right here, in the top, we see 4 characters already. Kanto Tokushu. I need my trusty doc file for this. Oh, what is this right here? So, let's put these here. Kanto Tokushu. We have 2 words right here. Kanto and Tokushu. So, Kanto consists of... Let me actually explain how kanji work. I feel like I should do this for now. There are lots of things to say, honestly, and later down the road, if you stick around, but please stay tuned. We have a lot to plow through. But let me just say something in a simple yet effective way for now. We are gonna upgrade from this. But kanji have 2 readings. The on reading, which is a very loose and clumsy way of explaining it, but it's like the Chinese version of the reading, quote unquote. Yes, we all know that the characters derive from the Chinese group of languages, I should say. And they are called Chinese characters, sure, but that's pretty much like my understanding of it. Usually if you see characters in words, in compounds, such as this one, Kanto Tokushu, all 4 of these were on readings. It's like the compound reading in a way, so let it be that. This one is kan. Where is the katakana? Let me go find it. Here we go. Kan. Usually, on readings are in katakana. And finally, the kun reading, which is like the more Japanese reading. Oh, you saw it right here, maki. This is for something that's rolled up, like a scroll maybe, traditionally. But right now, this character is a little special. Okay, it has two readings. The on reading, kan, and the kun reading, maki. I would use this more Japanese, quote-unquote, reading if I saw something rolled up like that, like a scroll, which is what I just said. So yeah, if it's a compound, use this. If it's a standalone word, use this. Okay, that's pretty simple. I mean, there's more, such as this character also happens to be a counter. So in English, we say like, oh, may I have like, I don't know, 2 pieces of bread or something, 2 pieces. The word piece here would be a counter. So in Japanese, also Chinese, also Korean, we have special counters which would be used in place of the word piece right here. And there are a lot of them. It's like a special category where it's like so easy to get lost. So kan would be our first counter, the very first counter you're looking at, for all things that you can read pretty much. Yeah, it's not that common, but again, you can say hon book wa nikan, which is like 2 like versions, not even versions, oh my god, like 2 of this book pretty much. Yeah, that's all I can say. So nikan would be like 2 of this book right here we're talking about. This would be book. Alrighty, so this character has an on reading, a kun reading, sorry, and it's a counter also. Wow, what a start. Alrighty, the first word, kanto. Kan means all things that can be read, pretty much. Yeah, anything you read. And this right here is a very common character. To. Oh my god, this can be amazing. To. Zu. And atama, which means head. Ma? Yes, head. So anything, anytime you see this character, understand that it's the first something, it's the head of something, the main something. So this is pretty easy on the other hand compared to the first one. So kanto, like anything you see, like the scoop pretty much, like the main thing, the man of the hour. And Mario happens to be just that. We saw him on the cover, so kanto, that's pretty much what we're talking about here. And these 2 characters are pretty common. This is toku, which means something special. Yeah, special. Special is the best word here, honestly. And shu, this is shu. Katakana, please, where is it? Here it is, finally. Shu and atsumeru. Well, not just atsumeru, let me throw in something hard, why not? Sudo. See? Sudo. Yeah, okay. This means collect. The catch-all term here is collect. Okay? So if we compile all of these, the meaning would be something like, well, this is the scoop. This is what we're talking about here. The man of the hour, the special thing, the gist, the pith of why we're here, pretty much. So yeah, I'm struggling to think of the correct word in English here, but like, this is it. The main thing, the main attraction. And attraction is a good word to use here because, yeah, there is a lot to talk about language-wise. Let's take a look. So, oh my god, I'm getting lost. Snooze! Okay, we just translated this. Paper Mario RPG Ando Luigi Mansion 2 HD. Well, Luigi, I'm sorry. I love you, but we're not looking at you at this point in time. Right below that, we have Haru no Mario Sampu. This is it. This is what I've been trying to say this whole time. We will have lots of flashy words here in this article. Words that are meant to convey the specialness of the event. It's like, imagine like a guy at an amusement park or something, and like comes up to you and is like, hey, try this ride. Wow, it's the best thing ever. You know what I'm talking about. This right here is pretty much the equivalent of that. Okay? And on top of that, it also has this cultural Japanese thing where it's like, you know, all things poetry and literature also find their way into modern day stuff, and, you know, the appreciation of nature. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Anything nature related is always important in Japanese. And as we can tell, Haru no Mario Senpu. Haru, this character right here, Haru, it means spring. Haru, spring. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I can say. Haru means spring. It also has a con reading. Why not put it here? I can't think of a single word where it would be in the compound, but shunshu. Oh, here we go. Yeah, shu, right? Shunshu. Oh, so it's not shu, it's shun. Here we go. Sorry, it's shun. Ooh. Yeah, it's like a tiny dictionary for you to use, as you can tell. Yeah, it is a little finicky, but very fun to use. Trust me. Shun. Yeah, shun means spring in compounds, and here, this word right here I came up with is like this spring melancholy. This character right here is like melancholy, all things sad. So spring melancholy. Shunshu. Okay, so shun and haru is spring. Yeah, we will. Unless we see all the other characters for the seasons, I will get them by the end of this video, so stay tuned. Whatever else do we have there? Oh, senpu. Senpu. Here we go. Sen. I need katakana, please. Oh my god. Struggle. The struggle is on full display. Sen and... what's the kun reading? I forget, honestly, but it's not important, because it's usually in compounds. Sen, to turn, to spin something. Spinning is the word here, but the second character right here is far more important. This right here. Hoo. In kaze, which means wind. Obviously, it's a very common character. If you see this somewhere, you know it's wind, and in this instance, it is wind. But also, this can mean style, or like some kind of trend, or something in the air, literally in the air, like air, wind. Yeah, so we don't have the second meaning here at all, but maybe a little bit. You know, like the onslaught of Mario games. You know, their arrival. Something like that, perhaps? I don't know. But to me, it's just a simple, like, spring, a little spring tornado of Mario. Let's put it this way, why not? Oh my god. It is hard. I don't have a script, you guys. I'm just yapping as I go, so it's hard to think on the fly sometimes. But I cannot talk when there's a script. I sound so rehearsed, so I will not be doing that. I don't see myself doing that at all, so you have to bear with me and appreciate the raw truth of speaking off the cuff. Alrighty, finally we have our first body of text right here. Let me read it a little bit. Harukaze ni matte yatte kita Mario sakuhin ni saku goran nare. Alrighty, I've already said that this is all non-standard. Well, not all of it, but most of it. And this is non-standard. Let's start from the end of the sentence. This right here is very common in Japanese, but not quite the way it is here. So, look at this right here. This little thing is very important because this little box right here that pops up every time you type something in. Look at me. Look at it. You can't look at me. It has ready-made sentences, like cliches, something you are very likely to use right now, right? I'm not even done typing in the sentence, but it already... has a few options for me. Some longer ones, here we go. So, goran kudasai. This right here means please take a look. Even if you're unfamiliar with Japanese, like at all, you might have seen and heard kudasai as please, and it is a faithful translation, more or less. Yeah, it does mean please a lot of ways. Not fully though. Again, translating things is very hard. You have to feel the language. You really do. So, yeah, pretty much kudasai is please, alright. But here we have another character. Not a character, it's simple go. It can be a character, which is why I got tripped up. this right here. The first thing I typed in was this. Goran, look at this. This go is no longer a symbol, it's now a character. And this character, I want you guys to see it as this, like, super polite character. It's very common, but it doesn't really have a translation as is. At least something that's, like, recognizable in English, or it's an English speaker. This is, pretty much look at it as something polite, period. And it's usually replaced by a simple go, because there is no need for complexity most of the time. So, Goran means, like, look at it. This is special in a lot of ways, because it's not a simple change down to a verb. This is not even like, it's just a little symbol right here and a character, which means look, but it's a more complicated character. Oh my god, this is getting crazy already. So, all I want you to do, you guys, is understand this thing as something that hardly ever changes. Goran kudasai, take a look. Okay, it's a cliche in a lot of ways. But here, it says, Goran, are, like this, are. It'll make more sense as like why this are is here later. It is from aru, right? But it's a little too advanced for now. All we want to do is understand the main idea of what we're looking at. It'll make more sense later, so please bear with me. Goran kudasai, take a look at what exactly? Now, you know, the verb is usually at the end of the sentence. It is always at the end of a typical Japanese sentence with no bells and whistles. If it's just stripped down to the honest truth, then the verb's gonna be at the end. Of course, if you're playing with it, the verb can be anywhere, but we're not at that stage yet. Alrighty, so let's take a look at this. Harukaze. Here we go. We just had these two characters in different situations in one sentence. Now they're together. Harukaze. You might want to ask me, but Douglas, you just told me that to see like two characters smushed together, we gotta use their on readings. But here, kun readings are used. To which I have to say, yeah, welcome to Japanese. These are more traditional Japanese, like, concepts. I gotta say concepts, yeah. Which is why a lot of words like that will not work as on readings. Here, spring and wind, yeah, very Japanese, hello, stereotypical Japanese, we understand that. So together, they do not assume their on readings. It'll be harukaze. That's pretty much the spring wind. That's all. Ni matte yatte kita. Oh my god, take a look at this. So, we have our first verb here, mau, which means to dance. This character means to dance. Yeah. So, every single verb in Japanese will have, if it's okay, let's say a normal verb, because there are lots of different things in Japanese that can be explained as a verb, but a typical verb would be like this, with an oo sound at the end. Here, I want you guys to open gojuon, and how should I put this? Alrighty, so, let me open something. So, it's gonna be gojuon. Gojuon. This is the table of Japanese sounds right here. All of them. So let's do it together. Oh, this is a great table. Look at this on the right side of the screen. Okay, so we want the middle row of the characters. If the verb ends in one of these in the end, excluding the last one, on the left, I mean, we read right to left in Japanese, so starting here, u, ku, su, su, nu, hu, mu, yu, ru. If the verb ends in that, it's the plain form of the verb, which means you can do things to it. It's like the plain form, it's the most malleable form, let's put it this way. If it ends in something else, to the top, to the bottom, we have a variation of this verb that's already been changed. So there is some kind of change that's been made to the verb. So you understand that it's like not the dictionary form, and you have to, if you want to look it up, you have to change it somehow. Okay, so that's pretty much what I'm trying to convey here. So back to the verb, mao. This is the plain form, which means dance. Now, we are going to look at something else here. So, Matte. Here we go. Matte. If you change the u, the plain form, to te, there's gonna be some kind something like te or de. This means it's the non-final form, and you can like glue things to it. So gluing is being done in full effect here. Let's take a look. Where were we? Oh my god, I'm getting lost in here. So, matte yatte kita. Alrighty, so this particular example right here, yatte kita. Okay, so I'll just separate these two. Yatte kuru, kita is going to be passed for yatte kuru, which means to come. This verb itself, kuru, means to come. A very common verb. Let me give you the kanji for it. Kuru. This kanji right here. By the way, let me give you rai. This is the on rating for this character right here. It's very common, you guys. Very common. So, rai kuru means to come. And the movement is towards you. Not away from you, towards you. Understand this now. Towards you. So, yatte here, in this particular instance, is just an intensifier, okay? We'll get to yaru in a bit. I'm pretty sure it's in there somewhere. It's very common. So, yatte kuru like this will be come, but like more intense. I don't think there is like any special meaning, or what's a good, juicy English word for this? Arrive? I guess it's not even juicy, but yeah. Considering it's glued to matte, we can say something like, what arrived again? Harukazu ni matte yatte kita Mario sakin ni sako goran. Yeah, so let's just continue down the sentence and everything's gonna make sense. So, yatte kita what? What came? Mario sakin ni sako. Oh! Juiciness. Cool. So, Mario, that's his name, sakuhin. Oh guys, this is a very, very common word. Again, it's everywhere, sakuhin. The first character here is Saku. Katakana, please. Katakana here. Saku and Tsukuru, which means... Here we go, yeah. Wait a second. Why is it spaced out like that? Oh my god. Tsukuru, which means make. Obviously, it's a very common thing to say, so please. Saku Tsukuru means to make. And here, this is hin. Why is it so finicky? Hin and Shina. Here it is, Shina, which means like a thing, like some kind of wear, like items for sale. Yeah, it is mostly in like commercial context where it's like something on sale, something being sold, some kind of wear, some kind of item, something, thing. Yeah, sakuhin. So this is a creation, something that's been produced. What's the word? Oh my god. Something. It can be anything, really. It's like a game or something created. A creation, pretty much. Yeah, something that's been made for you to consume, okay? And finally, sakin ni sako. Wonderful. I'm so proud of myself for having already explained the concepts of counters, because here we see the word sakuhin, put it here, and saku as a counter. Ni saku. Here we go, ni saku. So the second, like creation or like installment, dare I say, in the Paper Mario series. The second one. Okay, so I guess the word one in what I just said will be the counter. The second one. The second game in the Paper Mario lineup has just arrived with the spring wind. Has just landed like a pedal. Wow, something like that. Yeah, just get dramatic for it. Alrighty, and you are encouraged to look at it. Goran are. Yeah. Take a look at this wonderful creation that's just arrived with the spring wind. It's the second game in the Paper Mario lineup. That's my best take on it. I've just improvised the whole thing, so something like that. Alrighty, moving on. 2004. Alrighty, so 2004年に発売した Paper Mario RPG、2013年に発売したルイージマンション2が時を経て Nintendo Switch に蘇ります。Okay, that's one sentence, isn't it? Sounds pretty simple, actually. Okay, so 2004 Nen. So this character right here will be Nen. The on reading, Toshi. Yeah, here we go. The kun reading. It means year, obviously. You figured it out, yeah. It's very often used with the date, so 2004 nen, so the year of 2004. Yeah, it is often like glued to it, so it's better to use this character with the year. Like it doesn't work like 2004 period in English. 2004年に発売したthis gameと2013年に発売した this game が so here in my little file, I've already dissected Hatsubai, so this is a very important thing for us to understand. I've already said that if it's like a common verb, it'll have u at the end. That's how you know it's a verb. Here, however, we have another category of verbs. So Hatsu, this character is very common. Please do not forget it ever. It means to, like, the onset of something. Something is happening out of nowhere. There's this suddenness that goes with this character. So Hatsu, like first time something. Bam! Buy. This means to, ironically, sell. Buy and uru. Uru, if you see it like this, uru. Here we go, uru, to sell something. Together they mean the release of some game, obviously. Hatsubai suru. So this means to come out for a game. Yeah. So, and shita would be in the past. This is the past form, and shite would be the non-final form. Alrighty, so Paper Mario 1000 Year Door, that came out in 2004, ni, denotes the year here. To means and in this sentence. To can mean a lot of things, but here it means and. Look, these are similar. Luigi's Mansion 2, that came out in 2013, ga. And here, whatever we have before ga means the subject of the sentence. So these two things are gonna do something right now. And what are they gonna do? Let's find out. Toki wa hete, or this character, Toki means time. This is very common, so you're also getting an on rating for it, obviously. I'm be as generous as I can be. Ji, it means time, and let's learn how to put time in Japanese as well. So, sanji. Sanji would be 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. AM or PM? Let's find out. So, gogo would mean the afternoon, literally afternoon. This right here means the noon. And this is after, so, sanji gogo, 3 in the afternoon, 3 p.m. In the same way, sanji, so, sanji, this is the kanji for the number 3, sanji, 3 o'clock, but here we have gozen. Here, this zen means means before, so, literally before noon, in the morning. That's pretty much it, so, or at night, if you will. So, sanji gogo, 3 p.m. Sanji gozen, 3 a.m. Toki. Toki wa hete. Here we have the verb heru, which means to pass, pretty much. To... Yeah, this is often used in time contexts. Can't think of anything else. We also have this tatsu, which also means the same thing a lot of the time, tatsu. So, Toki wa hete, with the passage of time. That's a dramatic way of putting it. With the passage of time, within time, a Nintendo Switch ni yomigaerimasu! Alrighty, so we don't have a character for yomigairu, which means to resurrect, to come back to life. It is, we actually have two characters. When we're playing with the meaning of the word, there are situations where you might want to omit the kanji. If it's not literal, because nothing is like, no person is like coming back to life here. We're not resurrecting anything. We're not, like, nothing is coming back from the dead, if you want to put it this way, you know? So we don't really need the kanji here, because if the kanji is there, it gets more technical. It gets more serious, I guess. Yeah, serious, technical, more literal, more straight to the point, no fluff, no fufura, the real thing. And Yumigaido would be something more, you know, specifically tailored to like a character in a video game maybe, you know, where it's more serious. But here we just have these two games come back. Here we just have these two games back in the spotlight on the modern day console, so nothing too crazy. So we don't need a character here. Which is I pretty much have explained everything here in this body of text. Let's move on. GameCube で遊べた名作 Paper Mario RPG period ペラペラマリオが Switch に完全復活 Alrighty, let's talk some more juicy stuff. GameCube is GC, but this right here above it still says GameCube. So yeah, anything you see written above the characters, or maybe even English letters, is called furigana. Furigana, which means stuff that explains how to read certain character. So obviously very helpful. GC de asobeta. So the verb here is asobu, which means to play, but here we have a little change to it. Bu is in the middle, the u sound, the plain form, okay. Asoberu. Here, this means can play, okay? So if you want to convey the meaning of can, which is not the only way, let me say it again, it's not the only way, but it is common and useful, you change the sound here to its e sound, its correspondent e sound. So, what was it? Ha, he, hu, he, ho. So this one is a boo. We have those little specks above it, which changes it to boo from who. Boo, be. Asobe, and slap a ru on top of it. Ooh, asoberu, which means can play. But here, in this example, GameCube de asobeta meisaku, which means it was playable on the GameCube. It came out for the GameCube. You know, you don't have to translate it literally, which means something we could play on the GameCube. Like, I wouldn't say that, you know, something that came out for the GameCube. A GameCube game, if you will. You know, something way more straightforward. Meisaku. Some kind of work of art. Yeah, something, a creation again. Saku, we know what this is. Hey, the first character is Mei and Na, which means name. Mei and Na. Here it is, Na, name. It's very popular due to namae, which again, it's a compound, but we have the kun readings here because it's a Japanese concept. Namae. So this means name, pretty much, name, period. So Meisaku, creation. Game. We can just say game, no problem. Here's a game. Here's a GameCube game. Yeah, the thing is, there is nothing. It's an incomplete sentence. Yeah, now is the time for me to explain the concept of incomplete sentences in Japanese, which is why learning the language can be a headache. Because once you understand how it goes, it's okay. But before you get there, you might want to spend quite some time in the dictionary and plowing through it, browsing literally everything, trying to make heads or tails of it, and coming up short all the time. Trust me, I've been there. Only for you to go back to sleep, wake up in the morning, and it's like, oh my god, it's clicked. Something like that. It's gonna happen, trust me. It's a gradual process. It doesn't happen overnight. But here, yeah, so it's a game, it's Paper Mario 1000 Year Door. It's a GameCube title, pretty much. And there is no, like, verb that conveys any action here. It's just like, that's it. So it's cut off, essentially. And you can translate it however you want, pretty much, if it's your job to render it in English. So, yeah, we're talking about this very famous game that originally came out for the GameCube, pretty much. Yeah, I would steer towards the originality of this whole thing. So originally it was for the GameCube, but now it's come back. And it's on the Switch, which is what the second sentence pretty much says. Pera pera Mario ga Switch ni kanzen fukatsu. Alrighty, it's time for us to create our mimetic word bank. Alrighty, I'm gonna put all the mimetic words here, which are super important because they're everywhere, and this is a nuisance to explain or teach or convey in any way, shape, or form. All you gotta do is know the meaning of these words and try to incorporate them into your speech as diligently as possible. I just want that to be as natural to you as the ABCs, okay? Because people always say these words, and they can mean a lot of things, because they do not have kanji in them. Sometimes they do, but they're not really indicative of anything. It's just something that people use in fluent speech on a day-to-day basis. This is not like crazy or, you know, fairy tale-y or, I don't know, anime-esque. Not at all, no, this is everyday, so... Whew, the first one is pera pera. Pera pera? And this means flat, like a piece of paper. Obviously, this is important to us, pera pera. Flat, a piece of paper, but this is not the only meaning. It also means to speak something fluently and very fast, but to speak a language very fluently, you know, without stopping, you know, making no pauses, just rattling off the whole thing. Here, obviously, this word is going to be everywhere, and it's just going to be, considering that it's an article, it's going to be slapped into words willy-nilly. So, as we see here, pera pera Mario, there is no connector here, not at all, but a connector would be to. This to right here, I mean, used differently pretty much, but it's the same symbol. Pera pera to Mario ga something. So Mario does something in this flat, papery way. You know, that would be what it would mean. But here, it just attaches itself to Mario unceremoniously, so here we go. Switch ni kanzen fukatsu. Some more characters, why not? Alrighty. The first word means complete. Complete. This kan means it has only one meaning, kan. Well, it has more meanings, alright, but this is not advanced Japanese in any way, shape, or form yet. Kan means to finish something. Like, just wrap things up. Like, this is the end. Period. I think this is the character you see in those old-timey movies at the end. It's like, kan! That's it. Zen means fully, again. They kind of mean the same thing, so, there are some words that consist of two characters that mean the same thing, and that's how you make the word. Zen and mataku, which means fully. Fully. Here we go. Mataku. Fully. Fully something. So these two mean fully. Fully fukatsu. This is like Yomi-Gaiden in a lot of ways, but it's also abstract. It doesn't necessarily mean like, oh my god, something's back. Something like it's been resurrected or something. No, it just means it's come back. Here's the comeback. Yeah, comeback. That's a great word. So, futsu? Futsu? I don't think there is a kun reading. No, there is not. Futsu and katsu. Here we go, and ikasu. We'll see this verb in this article. I've seen it. Haven't given it a cursory read. I've seen it. Ikasu means to, like, make use of something. To, hey, do something, like, cut a broad swath or something. And, you know, just all kinds of cool activity. And futsu means, like, back, like, doing something one more time. You know, like, it requires, it implies this coming backness of it all. So, fukatsu, back in action, something like that. See, I love kanji, so I don't think they're, like, uncool or anything. They actually convey the meaning super well once you delve deep and excavate that meaning for yourself. If you don't know what it is, it just means nothing. You're just like, oh my god, what is that? But once you actually uncover the truth, it's way different. So, kanzen fukatsu, fully back in action. Something like that. Alrighty, what does this yellow stuff say? Oh, before we do that, Mario mo nakama mo pera pera ni, again, pera pera. So, Mario mo nakama mo. So, Mario mo. Both Mario and the partners. Nakama, this right here, again, a compound, but kun readings only. Nakama. It's like your friends, like your pals. Not like friends necessarily, but as in like close friends, but like nakama, your partners in crime, dare I say. It's not, it's pretty neutral. It's like people on your side, pretty much. People you jive with, okay, nakama. But usually it's like more in like battle contexts where there's kind of opposition, you know, people on your side, period. Mario mo, nakama mo. Here we have mo's. Mo is something that can mean both and that, either, you know, some kind of connector that means that you're looking at things in the same way. So, both Mario and the partners. We have two things here, so we can use both Mario and the partners, but obviously we can use 3 or 4 or more things. Are what? Are made of paper, or are turned into paper. Ni means into, like transforming into some kind of state. So, both Mario and his partners are made of paper, are turned into paper, something like that, okay? The yellow thing. Kami no sekai de daiboken. Oh, daiboken is like, wow, like so common. Daiboken. 3 characters. The first one means big. Dai or tai. Dai or tai means big, and oki. Here we go. It's a super common character, very easy to write as well. So yeah, big, period. Boken. Bo and okasu means to risk something, actually. Risking things. So yeah, and kan means some kind of enterprise, some risk as well. So this thing, boken, together, this means adventure. Yeah, it's pretty much set in stone. This word is always used to refer to adventures of any kind, any endeavors out there. And Dai makes it even more exaggerated. It's a big adventure, big outing. Sekai and Kami. Alright, so Kami means paper. Kami. Shi and Kami, paper. Sekai is also a very common word, which means world. Sekai. Okay, the first one is se. This is a bit cryptic, actually. Has to do with time, the world. This character is only used pretty much in this word, or variations of it. It's not going to be used on its own, like, ever, period. So, yeah, there are quite a few characters in the language that will not be used by themselves. They just won't. It's pretty much in this compound only sekai, and that's it. Also in this word, kaiwai, which is like the outskirts of something. Kaiwai. Yeah, I've just thought of another word where it's used, but by itself, it's not gonna be a thing. So, sekai, the world. That's all. Okay, now let's scroll to the bottom of the page, and here's another body of text. Oh, by the way, let's take a look at this. Here we have the characters for Nintendo, these 3 right here. Actually, I never saw this before. I just noticed it randomly. So let's talk. We have 3 characters here. This one is... Let me give you the readings, why not? Nin and Makaseru. Nin, Makaseru. Here we go, Makaseru, which means to entrust somebody with something. Entrust somebody with something, to outsource something to somebody. 10 means the sky. Also very common character, obviously. 10. And 10 and Sora. The sky. And this right here, do, means like hall of some kind. Alrighty, now that this little intermission is over, let's continue. 5月23日発売予定. Alrighty, so yeah, this is the June edition, but I did buy this a little earlier in the month, I mean in May. So how do months work in this language? 5月. This is the kanji for the number 5. I just put 5 here. 5月. Every month has a number, that's pretty much it. 1 through 12, nothing crazy. 23日. And nichi, this right here, this means day. So, day 23. Okay. The days can get really obnoxious. This is one of the things that I abhor sometimes. It's annoying. Really annoying. So, we're not gonna get into this right now. 5月23日. What is it? Hatsubai yote, right? Yeah, Hatsubai yote. We know what Hatsubai is. Hatsubai means release, and yote right here is the, like, prediction. It's the... Yote means, like... Okay, it's like the... It's like planned for release, pretty much. It's planned for release, like it's about to come out, pretty much. Yo means something done beforehand, something prepared in advance. So, yo and arakajime. Arakajime in advance. And te means, it's also a very common thing. It's a good thing it's here. Te and sadameru, which means to set some kind of rule. Okay? Set some kind of rule to establish something, to, yeah. It's interesting because the word settings is very much like this word right here, sette, okay? So it's like establish some kind of, you know, some kind of rules maybe, sette, settings. You'll see it everywhere, any kind of game. And this one is setsu and mokeru, right? Mokeru? Yeah, it is. To like make something, to like establish something, to make money literally. So I'm surprised I even remember this. I learned this like a decade ago. Oh my god, they still live on in my noggin. So this is something I recommend you guys do as soon as possible. If you want to learn something, repetition is the way to go. Period. Sette, settings. So here we go. 6570 yen, 78 yen. Homie. So, let's take a look at this. What does this mean right here? So, this, and then these two. Alright, so pakeji means the physical release, the physical copy, okay? Pakeji. Obviously, it's like a package, isn't like, you know. And this is, yeah, this is one of these topics that are not... This is one of these things where the way the words assert themselves in Japanese may not and usually is not the way they are in English. So here it says pakeji, package. Obviously it's not a package you get by post. So yeah, it's the physical release, the physical copy pretty much. Bon, this means like version. There are more things with this word. We'll get there. It's hard to navigate this with no examples besides this one. En. This is the Japanese yen, the currency. So anytime you see this after a number, it means it costs this amount of yen. But it also means, so en, the on reading, and it also means round, marui. Right? Where is it? Here we go. Komi, almost forgot, komi. This is from zei komi. So zei means tax. This character means one thing and one thing only, tax. And you will only read it as zei. So zei, komi, which means tax included, okay? This komi implies that, yeah, these go together like PB and J. The whole thing means tax included, okay? Komo by itself means something is like crowded, there are like lots of people, something is crammed into something, okay? By the way, okay, you know how in English we have like phrasal verbs where it's like to get up, get down, get on, get off, get in, they all mean different things. Something similar is present in Japanese, and attaches itself to verbs, to the end of them, and it does mean some kind of thorough action, like something that exacerbates the notion that's already conveyed through the verb. So the one verb that we will see in this article, I'm pretty sure, yarikomu. Yaru means to do also, like suru. Here is the one thing I'm going to highlight, by the by. Suru and yaru. But yaru means it's more conversational. It's more like casual. Everyday casual conversational. Yeah, suru is like more like neutral, straightforward, nothing crazy about it. Yaru is very evocative and very, it likes to attach itself to lots of different things. So yaru means to do as well, just like suru. And yari, okay, so if you want to glue something to the verb, you can either use yatte, which is what we did earlier, or say yari and komo. So you yaru games. You don't play games in Japanese, you yaru games, okay? Game yaru. Yari Komu would mean elements in the game that are like 100% completion kind of stuff. You know, like not the main quest, the main campaign, but like whatever comes after it. Like things that extend longevity of the game, that give it like replay value, all this stuff like that. That's Yari Komu, okay? So here, in this sense, Komu would mean like the more intense version of like playing a game. So it's not like you just like yaru a game. You want to play it like thoroughly and complete the whole thing, squeeze every single playable like part out of it. So Yari Komu, 100% completion. I like the way this functions actually. This is fun and very expressive. Finally, download bun. The download version, the digital version, costs 6,500 yen with tax included. 012 san ijo. Okay. Oh, I said san, didn't I? Sai. Alrighty. So by the way, let me translate this right here. So the question would be, Nansai desu ka? How old are you? 12 歳です. 12歳. This is the answer. I'm 12. How old are you? I am 12. Nansai desu ka? 12歳です. So sai right here is also like a counter. Okay, so the counter dictates how this is going to be used, how the question word is going to be used. So, it's pretty much like something sai, okay? The question is pretty much insert something in this sai right here, okay? So, you don't really separate this nani and sai and put them in different parts of the sentence and make a question like that, like how old are you? It's very different from English. Like nansai desu ka? And pretty much put the number into this placeholder, and the placeholder is nani, like nansai. What years? 12 years, something like that. I hope that made sense. Ijo, so 12 and older, so at least 12. There are two ways of rendering this, at least 12 or 12 and older. Ijo, and this right here is jo. I remember 6 readings off the top of my head. This means up, above. Okay, that's all it means. That's the reading. I mean, obviously it's everywhere, so you might want to know what this word is, this character. So, ijo, at least 12 years of age you have to be to play this game. Alrighty. Play ninsu hitori. Okay, also juicy. Play ninsu. The number of people playing this game, pretty much. How many players, right? The first character is nin, jin, hito. Person, and this is also counter. It means number, pretty much. Su and kazu, number. Okay, we have sugaku from here, math. Okay, and this gaku right here means some kind of discipline. Gaku and manabu, to learn something. Also pretty straightforward. Manabu. They're not hard. I'm giving you more than we see in the article, but I just want to make this cloud of kanji that you guys already know, haven't seen this one video, okay? Alrighty. Moving on. Hitori. Okay, yeah, just, there's one thing I want to say. If you see something like this, ichi and then hito, this is hitori. Hitori. If you see 2 and hito, this is futari. Okay, so for 1 and 2 people, the words would be a little different that do not follow this convention of a number being there and the character being there. Anything above that is sannin, yonnin, and so on and so forth. Alrighty, this is it. Done and done. Let's move on to this part right here. Ooh, lots of things. Paper Mario Shirizu Te. Oh my god, this Te right here. It's actually time to tap this. So, I'm not gonna say a lot right now, but Te means, in this particular instance, is pretty much clarifying what you just saw or heard or what was just said to you. Te, like, what in the world is this? So, what is this Paper Mario thing? Okay, you're just like, what is this? So, Paper Mario Te, you don't have to say after, you don't have to say anything after this. subete is enough. You understand what it is. What is this Paper Mario thing? And here's a lengthy explanation. Paper Mario シリーズは okay, this right here is a topic marker は it's not exactly the subject marker, which ga is. They do have some overlap here and there, but this is a very, very, very extremely common, let's say, conversation to be had in Japanese. They have books dedicated, whole books dedicated to the differences between wa and ga. Obviously, I can just break into the spiel and explain what it is, like, off the cuff. That's gonna have to wait. But for now, wa is a topic marker. It tells us what things are, so it doesn't really mean much. It just means whatever follows explains this thing's nature, okay? It's just a topic. It makes it the topic, and now let's talk. So, whatever comes after it is the actual sentence, to put it this way. Okay, let us continue. Here we have subete ga. Subete means all, like everything, but I guess all is the best word for it. It's a very flexible word, and here actually we have another reading of the character we had earlier, zen mataku subete. I forgot about this, but it's usually written with no kanji in it, subete. You can say subete no, like all of something. There are other words for all, like everybody, like people, but understanding this as all is the best way to go at this point. So, すべてが紙となった世界観が特徴の作品. Wow, okay. So the last word here is 作品, which is something we know already. Oh my god. Japanese, please. 作品. Here we go. In Japanese, blah 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 作品. So anything that comes before it describes this 作品, this game, this creation. So what kind of creation is it? What kind of game is it? Let's find out. So, すべてが subject marker. So everything has become something. Here, 紙となった. Kami, we know what that is. That's paper. So となった. Naru means to become. Obviously, it's a very common verb, so let's learn this right here, right now. Natta is the past form. We have two options here, though, when something becomes something. We can say tonaru, which is what we have here, and ni naru. The difference is tonaru has an element of surprise, like you never expected it to be this way. So everything has become paper, wow! It means something like that, roughly. If you see ni naru, it just becomes something more naturally, more expectedly. Okay, so obviously tonaru is the way to go. となった世界観が特徴の作品. Everything has become. Alrighty, so 世界観. Here we have the same word from before, sekai, and then we have kan. This kanji at the end it means like way of looking at things, like way, your POV pretty much. So this means we're in this papery world, you know, we're looking at this world of paper. And then, が特徴の作品. So here, 紙となった世界観が特徴. So this way of looking at things, this paper world, is the one thing that's like special about this game. 特徴. 特徴 means the special part, like the wow factor, the one thing you are buying this game for, pretty much. 特徴. Something. Oh my god, what's the word? I can't think of the word. Something that's special about this game. So any peculiarities, any special stuff, 特徴 here. So 世界観が特徴. So the fact that it's like, so here, this all is before 作品. In English, you would say this 作品 in which everything is made out of paper. So everything is after 作品. Here we have everything before 作品. Okay? So すべてが紙となった世界観が特徴. So everything, this papery world being the deciding factor in you buying the game. The specialness of the game is conveyed through this papery world. So it's kind of like nesting dolls, you know? First, we're describing sakuhin, the last word, and then the one before that is tokcho. And what kind of special feature is the word, I guess, yeah. What kind of feature is it? The one that tells us that everything's made out of paper. Moving on, sono genten wa. Sono means the previous sentence, the one before that. There is this kono versus sono thing. Have kono and sono, which respectively mean this and that. Here we have sono, and sono means the sentence before that. Alrighty, so sono genten. This second character, ten, is very important. It means like point, like a point in time, or something that I think of it as like dot, like period, the punctuation mark. Yeah, there are a lot of meanings to this word like that, like punctuation, like period, dot, yeah, something like that. So this point in time, pretty much, when everything started, is the game that came out in the year of 2000. We see a familiar sentence already, so you know what this is. Mario Story. Yeah, that's what it's called in Japanese, the first game, Paper Mario, is Mario Story. De Super Mario RPG wa sono shirizu ni sakume. Alrighty, so after that, after Mario Story, we see De. It's hard to explain here, but pretty much this sono genten wa, so this where everything started is with the first game called Paper Mario, pretty much, and this de cuts off this like part of the sentence. So this means sono genten wa, where everything started, is with the first game called Paper Mario that came out in the year of 2000. De. So normally in Japanese, you would end your sentences with des or da, right? Something like that. They're the most common sentence enders, but if you see de, it's kind of like the midpoint. Like you can continue after that if you just hit a comma and go on. So, de Paper Mario RPG wa sono shirizu ni sakume. So we can translate it as, yeah, the first game is Paper Mario that came out in the year 2000, with Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door being the second game in the series. This structure right here, with something being, is very useful here. Ni sakume, the second one. So ni sakume, like this. Ni, two, saku, we know what this is, counter for things in a series, and me means I. This is literally the kanji for I, but if you attach it to things like that, it means the second. It's the ordinal number now. So the second one. Obviously, if you put like 3 here, it's gonna be san sakume, the third one, and so on and so forth. Easy. 他にも多くの作品が発表され、Nintendo Switch ではペーパーマリオ折り紙キングも遊べます。At the end of the sentence, we have 遊べます. This is 遊べる. This is what we had before, but we have must, the must ender. The must ender is the polite ender for verbs. So what you do, if the verb ends in ru, for example, such as 遊べる, you take out the ru and put mas. Asobemasu. If you have a verb that ends in like su, like hanasu, to talk, you change it to shi, the e symbol in the lineup, and then mas, hanashimasu. Okay, so this is the polite ender for verbs. If your sentence ends in the verb, this is the polite ender, and this is not necessarily how should I put this? In journalism, you wouldn't use this, but this right here, the people that wrote this article are trying to advertise this game, so it's a little different, you know? So they will use anything that could be used in everyday speech, alright? So it's more personal this way. If you use des or mas, they're both polite. Polite is the key word here. If it's polite, it automatically means it's more personal. Whereas if you're looking for neutrality, you would use something like da, for example. It can be crude in everyday speech, but in journalism, it's neutral. So you might want to use that. It doesn't mean it's like rude, it means it's neutral. So there's this whole like neutral versus rude versus polite thing going on in Japanese. If you see must, understand that it's not this narrator who doesn't care about what's going on, the person who remains neutral. No, it's somebody talking to us pretty much. So if you hear must, that means you are being interacted with and not talked at as though this is like the narrator or something. Hope that makes sense. Hoka ni mo, the first word right here, is something akin to a linking word in English. So hoka, hoka, this means other. This is the meaning pretty much. Other with the kan reading being ta, right here. Ta. Something like tanin, other people, like tanin. Here we go. So hoka ni mo, you can put it like this, or like this, hoka ni mo. So this is like besides, furthermore, in addition, on top of this, right? Hoka ni mo. We have this mo also. We understand mo is something that adds things, and hoka ni mo, what's more, you know, mo has this like, you know, like what's more, take a look at this too, meaning to it. So besides this, oku no sakuhin ga happyou sare. Okay, so oi is an adjective, means a lot of something, something is plentiful. And then we change it to an adverb, oku no. What has come out? Oku no sakuhin, we know what this is, oku no sakuhin. A lot of things, a lot of games have come out. Ga happyou sare. So here we have ga happyou. Happyou. The first kanji is something you know already. The second one is hyou. Hyou, which means to show something. Hyou or arawasu. Here we go, arawasu. Hyou or arawasu, to show something, to display something, full display. So happyou. Oku no sakuhin ga happyou sare. Okay, here we have the passive voice. If you just say something, you are publishing something, this word means happyou. This character means first, for the first time, something. Hyou means to show, so publish something. Show something to the public for the first time, obviously. Ga something. If you just publish something, you do it. You say happyou suru, which is something we know already. However, if this is the passive voice, something is being published with ed at the end, right? Happyou sareru. This sareru means the passive voice form of the verb. Pretty easy, I would say. Yeah, so it's not suru, it's sareru. If it's a regular verb, like hanasu, whatever else, asobu, the one we know already, it would be something different. So we're not gonna go there at the moment. Okay, so moving on. So, sareru would be the final form, and here, sare is not the final form. It's not sarete either. It's just, there is a way to show that this is not the end of the sentence. You just take out the ru in this instance and put the comma there. That's fine. So we have two ways here, sarete or sare, okay? Nintendo, I hate the way this is carried over like that. Nintendo Switch dewa, so something on Nintendo Switch, Paper Mario Origami King mo asobimasu. So here, this mo is another mo we have. It's kind of like instead of wa or ga. It doesn't really matter which one, but it replaces them essentially. It doesn't stack up, it replaces them entirely, and means you can also. We know more likes things like addition, like and also, besides, beyond. So, you can also play Nintendo Paper Mario Origami King on Nintendo Switch. So, de wa. Here, de, where, de, on Nintendo Switch, wa. We have another topic marker here, wa. Mo asobimasu. We know that this asoberu is in the can form. So, yeah, we understand most of this already. So, besides this one, there have been a few more titles in this series. you can also play such as, we can put such as there, you can play Origami King on Nintendo Switch also. So, yeah. Alrighty, GameCube 版の Paper Mario RPG では、冒険以外にも、アイテムを混ぜ合わせるお料理や、たくさんの敵と戦う100回ダンジョンなどのやり込み要素もありましたが、スイッチ版ではいかに... Oh, well, this is... Okay, this sentence right here, take a look. This is long. Okay, so GameCube 版, the GameCube version of Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, では冒険以外にも. So, you can have your little adventure in this game, but besides that, 冒険以外にも, we have other stuff besides our adventure. So, 冒険以外. Here we have this E once again that we know. So, but now we have another kanji here. Igai. So this guy right here is gai, which means outside of something, like the external part outside, and soto. Like if you want to spend some time outside, you would say soto de asobitai desu kedo. You just want to do things outside, like outdoors. So gai and soto. Bokin igai. Igai means like besides, like this and something else. Not just this, but also something like that. Ni mo. Igai ni mo. So, adventures and stuff like this. Again, we have this mo, so addition. And this all is happening on the Nintendo Switch version. I mean the GameCube version of this game. So, では、冒険以外にも、アイテムを混ぜ合わせるお料理や。Okay, so this is the English word, pretty much. Item, just things. Or, so what are you doing to those items? Item or what is it? It's not awaseru. Maze awaseru. So the first thing here is the verb mazeru, which means to mix something here. This kanji itself means like chaos of some kind, like things just mixed together, for better for worse. So mazeru, by itself it means kon, like konzatsu, which means like throngs of people somewhere, like messy situations, complications. So kon means chaos, like lots of things crammed into one space. Mazeru, and here we have another, like just like komu before that, we have another verb finisher, like phrasal verb if you will, maze awaseru, which means to mix together. This awaseru means together. This kanji itself means together, a very common kanji. This is from awasu, maze awasu, I think, awasu, right? But it's not that common. Maze awaseru is more common and usable. Awaseru, which means lots of stuff you can mix together. Maze awaseru. Yeah. Okay, we can just stop right here. Maze awaseru, lots of stuff to mix together. Amaseru what? Oryoriya. Oryori. Okay, so this right here, this word ryori means cooking. Any cooking of any kind, things you make from food, pretty much. Another very common word, you guys. You'll see it everywhere. But here, we have another polite symbol right here, o. Just like go before this, we have o. O is the same thing, pretty much. Yeah, the kanji is the same. Look at this. Bam. So it's o or go with the same kanji. It's usually attached to Japanese words by nature. So ryori is more Japanese. There is no strict rule here, so you can see something like oryori or go something. Go, I don't know, go. I can't even think of anything, but o is for more Japanese stuff, quote unquote. Again, it's not a strict rule, but go is for like more Chinese, like more serious stuff. Like it's more differential, more respectful. So, this right here, oryori, is in quotes. In Japanese, quotes don't really exist, but these bracket-like quotes do exist, definitely, and they pretty much do the thing, do the trick. Oryori, so these are like quotes. Ya. Now, this ya is important right here. It means yes and, like the improv rule, yes and, yeah. If you see this yeah like this before a comma, it means it's going to be a non-exhaustive list. So things like, things of the sort, things of this nature. It doesn't list everything. It specifically says things like, okay? So not everything is going to be mentioned here. So among the things you can do in this game besides like adventuring, you can mix items, which is this cooking, you know, like which you can like mix items to cook them. I would put cook in quotes. What else? たくさんの敵と戦う100回 dungeon などの. Okay, so before I move on, I want to finish talking about this yeah right here. So, yeah, blah 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 blah, nado. Once you see this nado at the end, it means that's it. The list is done, we're done finishing and listing the things we're talking about. So, yeah, blah blah blah, yeah, blah blah blah, yeah, blah blah blah, yeah, blah blah blah, nado. Once you see this nado, it's over, okay? So the list is done. And this is a very useful construction to understand because, yeah, you understand that when you're within the confines of it, that's the list, okay? So in case you're getting lost in the sentence, just look for lists and things that are like more rigid to find your way out. Sometimes it really helps like this. Alrighty, nado. Nado also has a kanji. This is the kanji. You might see it here and there. Nado. Takusan no teki. Like, if you want to say, similar to subute before this, if you want to say, like, a lot of something, you can say takusan. Takusan no anything. Takusan, a lot of something. That's pretty much it. It's a very flexible word, loved by many, because it's so easy to use. And there is no kanji, really. There are kanji, but they kind of, like, appeared not too long ago, technically, like takusan. And here, this kanji, the second one, the latter one, means mountain, so you can look at this as like heaps of something, mountains of something, a lot of something. Takusan no what? Takusan no teki. Teki. Enemy. This is an interesting kanji because it's always, not always, but usually used on its own. Teki means enemy. Teki, also there's this reading kataki, but it's really uncommon. You probably won't see it anywhere. Teki kataki, just teki, please. This word, like shukuteki, like a sworn enemy, here we go. It's the same reading, it's the on reading, so it's always going to be teki. No problem here. Takusan no teki, lots of enemies where? To tatakao. Tatakao 100回 dungeon nado. So, as we know, the word at the end is the one we're talking about. It's being described by whatever comes before it. And the one word after this one is nado. So, we're looking at the one that comes before it, 100回 dungeon. This is the one we're describing. And here it says, たくさんの敵と戦う. The place where you fight enemies, the what? What is it called in English? The bit of the 100 trials. So, 100回 dungeon. This is a little interesting. So, 100 means 100. This is the character for it. 100回, like this. This will be our 100 floor dungeon. This is the word that came straight from English, dungeon. But it's a little interesting here, because I think it's a bit of a wordplay, this part right here. Kai dungeon. Kaidan means stairs. So, Kaidan. Stairs. So, 100回 dungeon. So, the 100th floor dungeon. The 100th floor like place where you fight enemies, right? Like, to tatakao. Yeah, you fight kind of like it's to tatakao. Tatakao here is the verb. So, to tatakao means you fight with quote-unquote enemies. With enemies. So, yeah. You fight with enemies on this 100th floor challenge thing dungeon. 100th floor dungeon. This character is for floors, pretty much. Hi. To tatakao. The bit of 100 trials. Nado no yarikomi yosa. Here we go. Yarikomi, the things that you do for 100% completion. But here it's a noun, so yarikomi. See? I just put the E symbol of the column. Yarikomi, mu goes to me. Yarikomi yoso. Yoso is a great word. It means element, like feature, element. Very easy to understand. The first one is yo. the readings are. This is the con reading. The on reading. Here it is. Yo. And one of the kun readings is kaname. Again, kind of uncommon. Don't really pay that much attention to it. But another very common reading is iru. Iru, which means something is necessary, something is needed. Iru. Yeah, this is easy to confuse with other verbs, so this is the character for this word, iru. Something is needed. When you need something, something is needed in any context, really. Blah, 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 ga irimasu. This will be the character here, okay? Iru, this is the one. And so at the end has only one meaning, so pretty much. That's it. It means element, literally, like from any chemical, pretty much, any element. That will be, this character will be there. A lot of the times. So, that's what it means, okay? Yarikomi yoso, things like 100% completion, you know, all the particulars of the game. Yarikomi yoso mo arimashita ga. So here we have aru at the end of this sentence. Aru, which means to be, but for inanimate objects. Not for people. For people, it would be iru, okay? So for things, it's aru. Now, this is polite, so ru changes to ri, ari, mashita. Masu is the present form, the past form is mashita. Mashita, ari mashita. And here, this is the one thing that trips a lot of English speakers up. I mean, learners of the Japanese language. It means to be for inanimate objects, but it also means to, like, appear, to, like, you see, like, kids say something like atta, which means found something, you know, something appeared, you know. So arimashita, they came, they appeared, you know. There is this meaning too, so be careful. Arimashita ga suichiban de ikani. Alrighty, so all of that, besides all of the adventure-y stuff, we also have stuff like mixing items to cook them, quote unquote. We have this 100-floor dungeon where you can fight lots of enemies and blah blah blah. All of these count towards 100% completion, and that was on the GameCube version, so I wonder what's gonna be in the Switch version, huh? Because it sounds pretty promising, doesn't it? So, here at the end we have this arimashita ga, and this ga is pretty interesting. Arimashita ga, comma. So this ga means but. It's kind of like both and but. It's not a strict but. So if you see this, it's not necessary. You want to say but. So it's like it goes from a positive thing to a negative thing, like however, or from a negative thing to a positive thing. It switches things up, just like in English. But in Japanese, it's very soft. So when you say blah 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 ga, it kind of, you don't really have to, you pivot a little bit. The conversation just takes a turn. It's not necessarily contrary to whatever was just said before this, okay? So a lot of the times it's just kind of neutral. So learners understand this as but, and this is true most of the time, but sometimes it's a little too neutral to be translated as such. You can just say and that's fine. Ga, so how is this gonna be on the Switch? Switchiban de wa ikani? Ikani means like in what way? Like what's gonna happen? Like what? Just what's gonna... I did say that nani means what in Japanese, but you just have to understand those characters and words as such. Like that's the meaning, but it doesn't mean that they function like that. As in like sentence structure. So it's like the way you would make a sentence in English is not the same in Japanese whatsoever. There are like lots little pitfalls that could trip you up. So please be careful and learn things like correctly and not not the same way they are in English. Okay, so Switchiban de wa ikani. So how's it gonna be in the Switch version? You can say how or what is gonna be in the Switch version, okay? Lots of different things and ways to translate this. Moving on, let's go to the second page. And this right here, in the red banner says, Densetsu no takara o sagasu tabi e shuppasu. Alrighty, so, Densetsu. If you guys like Zelda, you know what Densetsu is, right? It means legend. Densetsu. So, the first character, Den, means to, like, pass on some kind of information, okay? Den, and tsudaeru, to explain something, to like tell somebody something, okay? So tsudaeru, this is it, densetsu. And what are you actually telling people? Some kind of words, setsu, like some kind of a bunch of words that mean something together, pretty much. There is a very vague meaning to this character, but densetsu, some words that get passed and passed and passed, so a legend, right? Densetsu no otakara. Otakara, again, we have this o, which means, I said politeness is the way to go here, but it also means it makes things a little cuter and softer, dare I say. Like, not like in a kawaii desu ne way, but like takara. It's like differential. It's like we respect this the nature of this character, the nature of this thing right here. Otakara. Treasure. By the way, yeah, hotakara. Hotakara. Shuppatsu. We are setting out. We're leaving. We're heading out on this little adventure. The first character is very important. Shutsu and... It's shutsu and deru. Deru. To leave. To get out of something. Very common. And patsu, we know what that is. So we're going in this adventure. We're setting forth, pretty much. Sagasu tabi. So... Tabi is adventure, tabi. What kind of tabi is it? The one where we otakara o sagasu, look for treasure. So, otakara o sagasu tabi. So, the tabi, the adventure. Again, we also can say boken, yeah, but boken is like more like risk-taking. This tabi right here is more of a wandering thing, like just like roam the planet, pretty much. There is a little difference there, but like whatever, we have two words for that. Otakara o sagasu tabi. So, what kind of tabi is it? The one where you look for treasure. It's mirrored, you know? Sagasu means to find, to look for. Sagasu. The on reading is kan, so there is stuff like tansaku, which means, yeah, like looking for something, investigating. Here we go. What is he here? 物語はマリオの元に届いた一通の手紙から始まります。Oh, this is a very straightforward sentence like this. Okay, so, our monogatari, our, like, okay, you can translate this as like fairy tale or something, but like, it's not a fairy tale, like the story. We can say the story begins. The story, monogatari wa, blah, 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 blah. Hajimarimasu. Wait a second. Hajimarimasu. Here we go. So the story right here begins. And we're gonna find out what it begins with in the middle of the sentence. I'm pretty sure you've caught on already on how things work, but this is our first like straightforward like period. Like straightforward down sentence. So let's look at it. Monogatari wa, the story, blah 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 blah. Let's fill this in. So this character right here is hajimeru to begin. Monogatari, okay. Mario no moto ni moto. Mario's something. Mario's moto. This is an interesting character. It's pretty common too. Here in this context, it would mean like his, like the place he lives, like his humble abode. Yeah, we do have the word monogatari already, which is like all like beautiful and flowery. So, the story begins with something something to Mario's humble abode. I guess this works. Mario no moto ni something. Todoita. Ni todoita. This is from todoku, which means to deliver something. Yeah, we're talking about mail. So, todoku, todoita, that's in the past. And this character doesn't have an on rating, by the way, so... It kind of does, but it's never used, period. So, todoita, something. Something reached Mario's humble abode. Something was delivered to him. Itsu no tegami. Itsu no tegami. So, we know what this is. This is kami, and this is te, which means hand. The kan rating for hand is shu. So something like shu. Jutsu would be surgery. I like this word because it means hand and like magic. So hand magic, surgery, shujutsu. Alrighty, so tegami. This is yet another Japanese concept, so no craziness, no on craziness here. Tegami, the kun readings, please. Itsu. This character right here, this thing, is has lots of readings actually. We have to. Where to begin? Okay, the kun readings. Tosu, tosu to like penetrate, to go through something. Toru, to just go through. Whatever else. Itsu, as we have here, this is a counter for like letters, like correspondence. Whatever else. So lots of readings. It means to go through something, okay, to come through, go through, penetrate, permeate, whatever. Itsu, here is a counter for like letters, pretty much. Correspondence. Itsu no tegami kara hajimarimasu. So this letter, this story, this monogatari begins with a letter being delivered to Mario's humble abode. Perfect, clean. Kara means from, some kind of starting point. But it also means because. So if you see between clauses in one sentence, between parts of one sentence, it'll mean because. It explains it's in causation, okay? It explains something. But here it's more straightforward. It's like from, some kind of point of origin, okay? So kara. But I just translated as using with, so it's not necessarily from. Again, you have to look into the words themselves and how they work. If it's easier to translate things with, you're using with. You don't have to go with from because you understand it as such. Does that make sense? Yeah. So don't let that throw you off. Yukue fumei no Peachy hime to otakara star stone no mitsukedasu. Pera pera no tabi, go! Oh my god. Bunch of things here. So, the first one is Yukue Fume. And this is our first 4-character compound. These are super, I wouldn't say like super common, but they are very hefty. We have like 4 characters like smushed together and they mean one thing. And usually, pretty much always, this thing is like, it's like a set phrase. It's an expression, it's an idiom, it's a proverb. Yeah, whatever you want to use for these, really. And it's very loaded as far as like, it lives and breathes culture. And a lot of those actually come from Mandarin Chinese, from Chinese period. So these are very worthy of your time. Please invest some of it to learn these. And there are a lot too, so it gets really hard. But this one right here is kind of beginner level. Yukue, like the place where you are currently. Fume, unknown. Location unknown. So, Yukue Fume no Peachy hime. So, our princess no Peachy, Peach hime. This is a very fortunate kanji for all of the learners out there, because the on-reading ka, I think it's ka. Yeah, it's really rare, so my not remembering what it is testament to how rare it is. This just means hime, princess, period. Easy enough. Yukue Fume no Peachy hime. So, our Princess Peach has gone missing. She's nowhere to be found. To no takara stans. To o takara star store no mitsukedasu. So, we have this store right here. So, her and something else. And otakara star stone o. So, we're o mitsukedasu. Okay, the word at the end, the verb. Mitsuke dasu. Here we go. This kanji right here is for seeing things, is literally to look at something, but as in miru, look at something. If you say mitsukeru, that means to find something, to like something has literally caught your attention, like caught your eye, mitsukeru. These are 2 verbs like smashed together again. But this is so common that it's idiomatic now, pretty much. So don't look at the way this came about. Mitsukeru means to find. So mitsukedasu. And this dasu right here is a little different from deru, dasu. To, to uncover something, to find it, to spot it. Okay? Mitsukedasu something, to find it. So we're looking for our Princess Peach has gone missing, and this legendary otakara, treasure, star stone. What are they called in English? I forget. Oh my god. Precious stars? Precious stones? Stars? Crystal stars. Oh my god. Precious stones. No, it's a little too much Sonic Shuffle for me. Alrighty. Mitsuki das. Comma. Mitsuki das. Pera pera no tabi. Go. This is non-standard. Nothing happened to... Even though, yeah, I said earlier that this is... If this is the basic form, the plain form, with the oo sound at the end, it cannot be a sentence ender, but there's a comma here. What comes after it is pera pera no tabi, go. That means nothing, pretty much. It's like, whatever. So pera pera, our papery, no tabi, adventure, destination, where are we going? Go. So we're just going on this adventure. That's pretty much it. So the sentence technically ends right here, and after this, we're witnessing this little slogan, this cool stuff. A bunch of stuff, really. Pera pera, katakana no hiragana, tabi, kanji, go, English. Wow. Okay, this is enough Japanese for today, isn't it? Alrighty. Nanatsu no star sto no motomete. Alrighty. Nanatsu. 7. Yeah, there's this concept of like Japanese numbers and Chinese numbers. Earlier, we saw things like Sanni, like 3 people. That's a Chinese numerical way of putting things. But Hitori and Futari is the Japanese way, rather. So, it is a bit of a... Okay, here we're introduced to the concept of Japanese numbers. They are in less... Again, in less technical concepts. If you're just like, if you're not counting anything, if you just want to use a number, period. Although, there is this kind of like rule where it's like, it's better to use a number and a counter for it. It's the more Chinese way of putting things. If you just want to use a number, period, Japanese numbers, 1 through 10, are the way to go. But they're not used all that much, honestly. It's more so the first, like... Well, I don't want to put it this way, but... Okay, there are 10 numbers, the 10 Japanese numbers, 1 through 10. And here, nanatsu is the Japanese number, ends in tsu. Moving on, here we have nanatsu no star sto no motomete. Alrighty, so... we have some numerical games in Japanese. We have both Japanese and Chinese numbers, pretty much. They're like 2 sets of numbers. For everything in the world, you use Chinese numbers, pretty much, but... and they're also used with a counter. So we had some counters before. I used the Chinese numbers there. But if you just want to use a simple counter for a few things, like up to 10, you should use a Japanese counter. And here we have nanatsu, but at the same time, this is like a tale, a story. So, yeah, same as Sonic the Hedgehog, they have nanatsu no kaosu mirardo, like the 7 KS Emeralds. Not like 7, but the 7, those 7, the ones we know, right? So, Japanese numerals do have this, like... I guess they do, their usage does hinge in, like, whether it's a story or not, a little bit. They do have this, like, idiomatic thing going on, but it's very slight and subtle. So, yeah, if there is no counter, you should use a Japanese numeral, but they're, like, 1 through 10, so you can't just, like, count anything with them, you know? It's a little finicky, it's quite finicky, but hitotsu, that's 1. Futatsu. These two kind of harken back to Hitori and Futari for 1 person and 2 people, you know? So, yeah. After that, we do Mitsu, 3, and so on and so forth. It's a little hard to get into if this is your first exposure to the number thing, but yeah, for... Sometimes there are explanations here and there as like when you use Japanese numerals and like numbers and stuff. But I just want to say for now that if there's a counter, use a Chinese number. If you're just counting like simple things, but like it's a little idiomatic again. It's like a little like a story, like something mysterious, something iconic, like the what do you call it? Crystal stars being collected. Yeah, it's like the 7 crystal stars. This is the easiest explanation I can come up with so far. It's a little, you know, it's just there are rules, but like when you speak the language, the rules kind of go out of the window, and it's just whatever you end up saying. Motomete. Motomeru, a verb, again, motomeru. It's kind of like to seek, but like as in to need something. So something you demand, pretty much. Okay, so the on reading is Q, but I'm struggling to think of a word using this kanji right here. Q. It is a common one too. Q something, Q motomeru. To like seek something, but seek has two meanings, right? To try to find something and to demand something. This is it. So, what happens when you do get your hand in all 7 crystal stars, I wonder. So there's nothing over there. Let's get to the bottom of the page, and this will conclude the first part of my video, because it is getting pretty long already. I hope you guys are keeping up with all the notes that we have in the little doc file right here. Alrighty, so, Peachy Hime kara no tegami ni wa, this right here. We know what these are, all the words here. And this right here is where I want to jump into the Japanese concept of unfinished sentences. So, again, at the end of it, you see this topic marker, wa. So, this essentially helps you, quote-unquote, finish the sentence without actually finishing it. So here it says, Peachy Hime kara no tegami ni wa. So, tegami ni, in the letter, Peachy Hime kara no, the one letter that's from Princess Peach, something's in it, right? And in English, it's hard to even kind of translate this chunk without extending it a little bit, and putting the whole sentence here. If I were to say something, in the letter from Princess Peach, ... something, right? It seems really incomplete, but in Japanese, it's fine. If you put this wa, it definitely tells you the whole story, grammar-wise. So that's why it's a topic marker. It sets the scene for something we're going to talk about. So the letter from Princess Peach, that's what we're talking about. What's in it? Ni wa, something's in it. So that will continue over into this right here. Takara sagashi no shoutaijou ga. See, this is the same thing, except at the end of the sentence, we're supposed to have something like ga arimasu. So blah 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 ga arimashita. Even better, arimashita. There was an invitation to this treasure place in the letter from Princess Peach. Yay, ga arimashita. But they decide to end the sentence with a ga and an exclamation point, which again is non-standard Japanese. If we go like really classic, it's just not a Japanese thing. But these days it is. Nga. So they left out the last part of the sentence, which is supposed to be a verb. Takara sagashi. Alrighty, so takara o sagasu. This is to look for a treasure, but you can put these together to make a noun out of these. So takara sagashi. Like this. Here we go. So su at the end changed into the she, the e part of the column in the Gojiwon table. Takara sagashi, treasure finding. So here it's a classic gerund, to find treasure, treasure finding. Takara sagashi. It's pretty much the same, functionality wise. Takara sagashi no shoutaijou ga arimashita. So shoutaijou, invitation. Shoutaijou. Yeah, so this kanji right here, the last one, jo, is the very common, doesn't really have a kun reading, so yay for that. Jo. This is the only reading pretty much. Jo. It's like the state. It's like the condition of something. Jo. Shoutai means to invite somebody. So, the first character is to lure somebody in, to attract somebody. And this one right here, very common, is to wait for somebody. Matsu. Matsu. Matte, wait! A very common word indeed. Yeah, shoutaijou. That's pretty much it. Shoutaijou. Okay, yes. Shoutaijou. So there was an invitation to, go looking for treasure with Princess Peach. In the letter from her. Alrighty, got it. Finally, this last part. Shikashi, Peachy hime wa miatarazu. Alrighty, so Princess Peach wa mi ataru. This is to spot something again. So ataru, the ataru part is like to hit something, to like, damn. Like, this is it. Bam! Hit something. Mi atarazu. Mi atarazu. Things like that will be translated as without doing something. So here, again, the sentence isn't complete, so it's kind of hard to render it this way. But, and it's at the end too, which doesn't really happen normally, but we could just say, oh, but she's nowhere to be found, pretty much, that's all. But this is very useful in, like, you know, you do something without doing something. This without doing something is a nifty construction that doesn't really change all that much, so we'll definitely be making use of it later. Shikashi. This is the last word here, shikashi. It means shikashi. There is a kanji for it, but it's not used like this at all, ever. Shikashi is but. It's a glorified but. I mean, it's like, it's not however, it's like though, maybe. It's like, it is a but, yeah, so it does change the, like, the course of your train of thought, pretty much. Shikashi. We'll just settle for but at this point in time. But Princess Peach is nowhere to be found! And that's that. Alrighty, the little messages with the arrows here. This right here says, ある日、マリオの家に届いたピチからの手紙。弟のルイージが手紙を持ってきてくれました。Oh, this is straightforward. I like it. So it begins with ある日, which means one day. ある日. One day. This kanji is for, we saw it before with the date, right? He means day, so ある日, one day. マリオの家に届いたピチからの手紙. This is pretty much the same thing we translated a bit ago with the Mario no moto ni todoita itsu no tegami, right? But here we have the kanji ie, which is somebody's house, home. Also a very common thing, a beginner-friendly kanji. So a letter came to his home, ie. 届いてからの手紙, yeah. 弟のルイージ. Okay, so Luigi is an ototo to Mario, his younger brother. And Mario is the older brother, aniki, or ani for short, to Luigi. Yeah, the older younger brother or sister thing is big in Japanese, and for each of the four, there is a kanji, so obviously. And together, these will be kyodai, brothers. So, Mario Kyodai, the Mario brothers, pretty much. The same will be for sisters, but it's Shimai, the sisters. By the way, these two characters have this onna part on the left side, which means this has to do with, like, female anything, a woman of some kind. Or the concept of this character derives from the concept of being female or something. The kanji for female is its own, like, key. Unlike man, that's not a thing, but female is a thing. So, very useful too. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Alrighty. 手紙を持ってきてくれました. Interesting. So, 持ってきてくれました. Again, you can tell that this is polite. So, くれました. If this were plain, it would be something like 待ってきてくれた, like this. So let's take a look at the plain form and lop off the polite form for the time being. So not 待って持って. Oh my god, easy to confuse. Yeah, look at the key part of these. This has hand right here. No, it's not gonna give me that. Alrighty, so let's compare it to Matsu, wait. This right here, this kanji right here has this, has a different key on the left side, but this one, when we want, the wait kanji has a hand on the left side. That key is hand. So, the verb itself means to, I don't want it to be involved anymore. Means to bring something, to, yeah, pretty much bring, very straightforward, isn't it? motsu. So, 持ってきてくれた. Here, this is our first exposure to the concept of kureru and morao. So, in Japanese, these two are very common additions to the verbs, and they imply movement. And movement along with some of the others, but that's for later. These two also mean movement, but like, who gives who what? Who the action is like aimed at. Whoever is the recipient of the action, like who receives the action, let's put it this way. So here we have kureru. That means the action is from somebody to you, but the emphasis is on that somebody, okay? So what's important is that that person did that. Not you, but that person gave something to you. It can be the same meaning, but like with morao, but that would mean that you are the one who received something. You are getting something. That's the key part of the sentence, like the emphasis. Here we have kudeta, but kudeta who? Who did that? Luigi. Ototo no Luigi ga did something. He did something. The subject particle ga tegami wo motte kite kuremashita. So, Luigi brought the letter. This is the English translation, but in Japanese it's a little bit more complicated. Luigi ga tegami wo motte kite. So, motte kita means brought. And here we have another one of these, kuru. This is from kuru. We had kuru before, but let's compare it to iku. So, iku means something goes away from you, and kuru means something comes to you. But these are not literal at all. These imply that, okay, if you say kuru, something comes to you, something like gets collected or stored or amassed. And if you say iku, it means something gets bigger. It kind of implies that it goes away from you, like it leaves you your possession, but not necessarily. It's like if you are getting like more of something, if there is some kind of gauge that's getting filled up or something, some progression meter or something. I need more examples, but these are usually pitted against one another. There's this versus, that should be here, versus. And kureru versus morao. For now, just learn to look at these in pairs like this, okay? No big deal, you'll get there, but just understand that these are key elements of Japanese sentences, and here we have both. Motte kite kureta. So, he brought it, like for us. You don't have to say for us, it's implied, but he brought the letter, like to us. He was the one who did the bringing. Motte kite. So he did us a favor, pretty much. It's like a favor, attachment, like, yeah, I would say favor. It's like somebody's doing us a favor. Somebody's doing things for us. And Luigi is the subject of the sentence, so he did that. Motte kite kureta. Here we go. So he brought the letter. If you just say motta, you can just say motta, like this is the verb itself with nothing to it. This is the final form in the past, motta, from motsu. Motta. It sounds really incomplete. Like, it doesn't even sound Japanese at all. And I'm just, this is how natural these are. It's not even like they're just like sitting here like for no reason at all. They do fulfill their role in the sentence, in the word. So please, we gotta learn how to use these, and we are going to do that. I just need more examples from the article and from the games I'm gonna look at later, so don't worry about it. But these are something that, unless you have like some kind of like solid reference, like something to look at, something to base your like thinking on, some kind of book maybe that helps you along the way, some kind of material that helps you understand the language better. Because to me, honestly, reading a book is not enough. This is the point of the video, partially. If you read a book, it just puts the information a certain way, but it doesn't really convey the emotional like meaning of what these are. I think it's much better if somebody just sits there and explains the way I'm doing right now, so it's just clear and that's it, period. There is no reason for us to be sitting on the same grammar for like years and not be able to move forward. So 持ってきてくれた. Brought for us, くれた, 来て, like he came to us, like the action is towards us, okay? So he brought it for us. So thank you, Luigi. Let's put it this way and move on. Oh my god. There is a lot to say, but I just want you guys to understand this 100%. Not now, maybe, but I want this recognition I want the seed to be planted, okay? Alrighty, so. 持ってきてくれました. Yes. Here we have 手紙には in the letter, Gorotsuki Town. This is the name of Rogueport in Japanese, and I'm very much down for the translation. I think it's great. Gorotsuki Town. Here we go. So in katakana, we have this, Gorotsuki, which is what we have in the game. But this is a big word. It also has kanji for it. And this is one of those cases where, even though the word has kanji, it's not... I want to say it's a little gauche to use the kanji for this word. It's a little... it's hard for me to explain at the moment, but... something... when you overly kanjify your sentences, when you want to show somebody that you know the characters, and I know all three of these characters, they're not hard at all. The first one is to break something, the second one is to fall, and the third one means door. All of these are something we'll be looking at later, trust me, not now, but altogether, they are kinda just glued to each other without meaning much, because, you know, each of these has a meaning, yeah, and loosely, they're just slapped together based on the fact that Gorotsuki itself means like a ne'er-do-well, like a person who loiters and just like does whatever, a shady character. So rogue is a great translation. I'm down with this. Yeah. And at a certain point in time in the history of the Japanese language, people decided to like kanjify this word, and or it was kanjified somehow, okay? Or maybe this was the original word and it really derives from Chinese somehow. It could be a lot of things. And then the kanji were deemed a little too obsolete, like hardly usable, so it just devolved into the katakana word, and that's pretty much it, Gorotsuki. Like, or you don't have to do all that, just Gorotsuki. This is it in hiragana. This'll do, Gorotsuki. So yeah, you don't have to use the kanji for this word. It's kind of like, yeah, it's not the best like manners-wise, like style-wise. It's a style thing for a lot of people. If you use these, the kanji, it's a little off. It throws off the whole sentence, honestly. So it's a bit deeper than just like, you know, choosing not to use the kanji because like you just don't want your sentence to team with them. No, it's a bit more of a style thing. So let's just not use the kanji for words like that. Gorotsuki Town, Rogueport, we'll save the translation, why not? To you, 街で待っているので絶対来てくださいね。To you. This is big. So, Gorotsuki Town. Whatever. So here we have the quotes again, the bracket quotes. To you. To you is a big thing. A while ago we had te, and these are comparable. These are honestly kind of the same thing in a lot of the ways, but not in all of them. So to you, there are two things here. To, which quotes something, and you is from to say. To you. To say something. This is the word, this is the kanji for, and the verb for to say something in Japanese. Together, however, they are idiomatic too. Once something becomes idiomatic and like a customary practice to use these together, they lose their original meaning and flavor, and they become this like structure pretty much. So, and te can be used instead of these, but together, to you, it means like this thing called that. It literally means called. So the place called, the town called Gorotsuki Town, okay? But you can use this to you with any, not just concept, but something somebody said, okay? So blah 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 te. So you're not just quoting, you're bringing up something somebody said, so and trying to, you know, explain somehow, you know, te, like whatever, you can say anything literally and then put to you. which means it can mean so-called, thing called, that thing, the one thing you just talked about, something like that. You just trying to explain something pretty much. So this is much like te. So to you, machi, the town called Gorodsuki Town, a rogue port, de matte iru no de zettai kite kudasai ne. So de, she's waiting at, or should I say in Rogueport? Matteiru. What is it? Matteiru, yeah, so it's not just Matsu. Matsu is to wait, but here we have a progressive form of the same thing. Matteiru. Matteiru. The progressive form. There are two ways to translate this. The present perfect in English, such as like have waited, or have been waiting. Somebody. Or has waited, has been waiting, whatever, or in the continuous form, like somebody is waiting for you. Need examples again, but the progressive form can be a little dodgy in Japanese as far as like you want to use the progressive form in English as well, like the continuous form, like is waiting, but there are pitfalls to this, so be very careful when translating things. There is the very common mistranslation, I mean not common, but it's common knowledge that the allergic status effect was mistranslated. It says status hasn't changed, and there we have the progressive form, kawatte inai, which means it's not going to change. It'll stay the same. It can change. You know, there's a slew of translations that can be used, but that's the gist pretty much. Kawatte inai. It means they use the present perfect form, hasn't changed, but we need a different like tense here, a different tense form. So will not change, will stay the same, cannot change, you know? So this is the form that they tripped up on, so let's not follow suit and be wary of this. De matteiru no de. Okay, this no de means because. Earlier, I said kara means because. They both mean the same thing, yeah, they do. Except there's a slight change, or nuance, in between the two of these. So, no de means something more logical, more natural, more straightforward. So, since Peach is waiting in Rogueport for you, you gotta come, okay? Because, like, since. It's a very, like, yeah, she's waiting, so you gotta come. If I said kara, it's more, like, less expected. So, she's waiting in Rogueport, alright, but it's like, you should come, yeah. It's weaker. The connection between the two is weaker. The cause and effect of it all is very visible with no de, and less visible, less apparent with kara. That's pretty much the only explanation. This is Peach we're talking about. A very prissy individual, so no de it is. No de. Zettai kite kudasai ne. Oh, we have kudasai here again. So, zettai would mean definitely. This is the only, this is a very harsh word. It's not rude, but the characters themselves imply like cutting or lopping something off or like slicing something right on off. Zettai. So like, zettai definitely come. Zettai kite. This is from kuru. Kite. Kudasai ne. So we know what kite is. It's from kuru to come. Kite kudasai, please come. Ne. This ne at the end is a very Japanese thing, and I'm struggling to think of like the one English thing to translate it as. Ne. It implies when you put ne at the end, you again. This goes back to the conversation on just leaving the sentences unfinished, and you know, leaving everything up to you, or like up to you to like decipher, pretty much in some of the cases. Ne means like it's the appeal to you. It's kite kudasai ne. Zettai kite kudasai ne. Like you should definitely come. You know, it's that like subliminal almost message. Like you're coming, aren't you? You are. Even though this whole thing is polite, but it's definitely like you weasel something out of the person sometimes, information-wise. Like zettai kite kudasai ne. Like you gotta come. You're coming, aren't you? Something like that. Not as extreme as I just described it, but something along these lines. It appeals to the other person, like, nah, eh. Sometimes just like straight up you just cock your head and put your tongue out and wait for a response, like a little dog. You're like, nah. Something like that. 言っててあげてくださいね。と、書かれているが。と、書かれているが。Alrighty, so this character means to write something, to kaku, write, and the on reading is sho. Where is it? Sho. So shokaku, to write something. Kakareteiru. So kaku, ku changes to ka, kakare, kakareru. This is the passive form. We talked about this. The passive voice from kaku, kakareru. Yeah, we have suru, sareru. Now this is a common verb, and here the actual part after the kanji changes. So kaku changes to the a sound in the column. In gojion, kakareru. This is it. Kakareru. Kakareteiru. And this is the progressive form, again, like this, except this is passive and progressive. Kakareteiru ga. What does it say? It's a question. Alright, question mark. So question marks are used in Japanese too, obviously, but again, non-standard. In classical Japanese, you would have something blah 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 and a little ka at the end of the sentence, which would imply this is a question, okay? You don't need a question mark with this ka. This ka at the end by itself, with a little period, means it's a question already. But here, when it's like less, it's like rough hewn. It's like just, here we go, bam, it's a question. You know, you're not trying to find a traditional Japanese way of making it, this is a little more straightforward. It's a little more like in your face, this question right here. This question mark itself looks scary even. Look at this. It's like, it's big. Look, it's scary. I don't want to look at it. It's just, like it just extorts information out of me. So that's pretty much the nature of the Japanese question mark. It's a little too, word here. It's a little too aggressive. It's in your face. So yeah, we can't use kai here either because this whole thing is incomplete again. So to kakareteiru ga, whatever's written in, it says so in the letter. It's written in the letter that you are meant to come to Rogueport because Peach is waiting for you there. You guys have a little thing going on. And finally, this right here says, Gorotsuki Town ni mukatta Mario da ga, Peach hime wa inai. Peach hime o sagasu tabi ga mata hajimarimasu. Alrighty, so, Gorotsuki Town ni mukatta. This is from mukao to be headed for some kind of place. Okay, mukao, to it's like literally you turn around and start walking in that direction. You just like turn your body and, you know, go there. So mukao, mukatta, Mario that's headed to Gorotsuki Town, Rogueport. Mario danga, Gorotsuki Town ni mukatta Mario danga. So Gorotsuki Town ni mukatta Mario. This here says Mario, like the Mario heading for Rogueport. And here we just have danga. So yeah, this is a little incomplete as well. Here all we have is, I would translate it as here we have a Mario heading, here we have a Mario that's headed for Rogueport. Here we have a traveling Mario, alright, something like this. Because this dot just, it's like des, but it's plain. So it just cuts the sentence off, it just proclaims whatever's here and that's it. It's an affirmation of some kind. So, Gorotsuki-chan ni mukatte Mario da ga. So, Mario is like headed for Rogueport, but literally it would mean something like, we got a Mario that's on the go. Naga. And here this ga again acts as a soft how. Soft butt. Soft butt. Peach hime wa inai. Peach hime wa. Topic marker, inai. Nai means not, so this is from iru, to be, for a person, for a living being. No, for a person. Animals are... I forget what they are, actually. Inai. Inai. So she is not there. Ellipsis? Ellipsis, please? Ellipsis? Alright, she's... Oh my god, this is ugly. Oh my god, it's not working. Whatever. Inai. Peach Hime o sagasu tabi ga mata hajimarimasu. Alrighty. Peach Hime o... Peach Hime, Princess Peach, o sagasu. And here we have a different kanji, this one right here. So this implies that we're looking for a person, rather. Not a thing, but a person, to find her. Peach Hime o sagasu. Tabi ga mata hajimarimasu. Alrighty. Sagasu tabi ga mata hajimarimasu. Alrighty, so again, this is a polite form, hajimarimasu. We can say hajimaru, and mata. It's like a stronger version of mata. Mata itself has quite a few meanings, but here it's like again. So, yet again, we're off to another adventure to look for Princess Peach. Hey! Yeah, it's kind of a little strange that the person talking to us decides to imbue this with this annoyed tone, like, again, really? Alrighty, so down here, we have yet another version of mata, except here we have mata shitemo. Again, mo, we know, addition. Mata shitemo, like, again and again, yet again, she's missing, that Princess Peach. Inakunatta Peachy Hime. So, we know that iru means to be, inai means not to be. Inakunatta. And naru means to become, so she's gone missing. She has become not being. Inakunatta, so she is missing, she's not here. Okay, so... not literal, of course, but iru, inai, inakunatta. If you change an adjective, let's say, whatever we had before, oi. Oi is a lot of something. So oku natta. Something has become plentiful. This is how it works in the sentences. So oku natta. A lot of something. Itsumo dareka ni sarawaregachi na Peachy Hime. Again, another incomplete sentence, but again, this is journalism, this is like, you know, selling this article to us, so making it as bombastic as possible. Let me reiterate. Itsumo, always. And here, again, we have our mo. Itsu, it's like when, and mo. So itsu means when by itself, and mo, it's like every single time, like time and time again, always. We can just translate it as always, but I want you guys to understand that this is like two words in one. So again, slapped together, they come together to mean a new thing, like always, all the time. Dareka ni, dare is who, ka, somebody. So erase this ka, dare. Somebody, some kind of person. Doesn't really have an on reading. It does, but let's give it for now. Dare ka. Somebody, just somebody. Ni sarawareru. Again, this is the passive voice form for sarasu, right? No, sarao for sarao. This is to kidnap somebody. Sarao. Again, this kanji is pretty uncommon. Look at it. It's really complicated. Sarao, it's not really used. This is the reason why it's not used. Sarawareru. Itsumo dareka ni sarawareru. Always kidnapped by somebody. Sarawaregachi na Peachy Hime. Oh, interesting. Sarawaregachi. If you put a gachi to the end of the verb like this, it means there is a tendency for something to happen. That Princess Peach is prone to being kidnapped by somebody. So, sarawaregachi no Peachy Hime, period. There is no ender, there is no verb, nothing. It's a bare bones sentence with lots of words in it, so it's incomplete, but we get the meaning still. Here's our Princess Peach. It's always kidnapped by somebody. she has this like kidnappinitis. You can translate it as like this, yeah, kidnappinitis. Like she has a disease, a condition that leads to her being kidnapped all the time. Dakedo, but again, dakedo. This is usually used at the end of a sentence. So here, let's just take out the period. Pichihime dake. We need something here, but anyway, imagine that this works. This would be at the end of a sentence, but this is a written body of text we're talking about, so dakedo, but this acts as a but. Dakedo, it can be a though, but here, let's go with the but. But, 今回は, this time, 今回は. The first character means ima, kon and ima. These are the on and the kun readings respectively. Konkai, this time. This character right here means the on reading is kai, and the verb is mawaru, to like turn, spin, something happening round and round. And as a counter, it means like time. And here, this ima, this character, it means, it acts as a number, pretty much, this time. If you say something like nikai, that means 2 times, twice. Like, gokai. No, not this word. Gokai, 5 times, and so on and so forth. Konkai means this time. Wa, topic marker. Sarawareru mae ni. So, sarawareru mae. This means before, as we talked about in the one time I explained how time worked. Mae means before, so it acts as a noun here, so you don't have to do anything to the verb, it just attaches itself to the noun. So sarawareru mae ni, so before getting kidnapped. This is the translation here, before getting kidnapped. Yukue fumei ni natte shimatta moyo. Yukue fume, you know what this is. Ni natte, so she went missing. Yukue fume ni natte. This is not an adjective, so instead of putting it up to a ku, like oku naru, right? Yukue fume ni natta. But here we also have natte shimatta. This shimatta is cool. It's another like phrasal verb-esque thing happening. So if you put shimao to a verb, that means something ended up happening. Oftentimes it's something bad, not necessarily, but it does have this little tinge to it that something bad has unfurled. But again, not necessarily, it's not strict. Natte shimatta. So she ended up going missing. Moyo. Again, moyo. This yo here would mean looks like. It looks like she went missing before getting kidnapped. This is the whole translation of the sentence. This mo here is like a service mo. It adds this like it also looks like. I wouldn't really put this also here, but it does give this element to the sentence. It does give this slight change in meaning to it, like mo yo. It also looks like she went missing before getting kidnapped. Wowzers. Next, Peachy Hime no otsuki kinoji mo okomari no yo desu. No yosu de. Alrighty, so Peachy Hime no otsuki no. Alrighty, so tsukeru means, we had this in mitsukeru. Mitsukeru. Tsukeru means to like attach something to somebody. So here we have otsuki no. Here we're introduced to the concept of like cute Japanese, not cute, but like polite and like soft Japanese. So the verb would be to tsuku. Okay, so tsukeru is to be attached to something, and tsuku is to attach. Let me make myself clear. So make a noun out of it. Ski or ski means it's not like, it does mean the same thing as like a chaperone, somebody who accompanies somebody on their trip, yeah. But here we're talking about a person, and an elderly person at that, so we want to show some, we want to make it softer, we want to show some deference to that person. So, otsuki no. Otsuki. You just make a noun out of a verb and put an o at the beginning, so it makes it softer. And it's not like super literal though either. It's just kind of like, you can make lots of jokes like this. You can say the rudest thing, but use this construction. You can say the nastiest word and use this construction. O, expletive, no something. It's really funny when, you know, you're valuing back and forth with somebody, you're bantering. Super funny and leads to lots of jokes and like wordplay, which I love. Otsuki no kinoji. And the box doesn't know who that is. Alrighty, so kinoko, it's a mushroom, kinoko. Again, this is a big word. This is a plant. Well, it's not a plant technically, but anything that's like a plant or an animal, it's best that you use you don't use a kanji for it pretty much, even if you do know what it is. That's just a rule. It's some kind of rule, some kind of convention that's in place. And yeah, this is the kanji for mushroom, kinoko, but it just looks kind of off. I've gotten used to the way this language works, so it looks a little off to me. It does. So let's just say kinoko. This means mushroom. Erase this ko and say ji. Ji means like an older man. Not the most pleasant kind, but like if you hear little kids saying ji-san, oh ji-san, that's like an hey dude, hey old man, hey you old guy, something like that. Kinoji. So this old mushroom fart, pretty much. Otsuki no kinoji mo okomari no yosu de. So mo, again we have mo, so and Toadsworth is also in the state of confusion. It's like, no, mo. Again, komaru is a verb for, like, to be flustered, to be experiencing some kind of hardship, something bad is happening to you, something, oh my god, what do I do? That's, that can be used and expressed in one verb, this one, komaru right here. No okomari. Again, this makes it softer, it makes it cuter in a way. So if the komaru, it's like, oh my god, there's some kind of problem. You say okomari, it makes it like less like, oh my god, like the world is coming to an end. It's not an Armageddon anymore. It's like way more palatable to us, I guess. No yosu. It means state. This right here, these two characters are important. I'm gonna explain them later in things where they actually matter as characters. We can just say yosu like this. It means state, some kind of condition. So he is also in this troubled state, de. With Toadsworth also being in this troubled state, Peachy hime o sagashite hoshii to Mario ni tasuke o motomemasu. Alrighty, so let's go to the verb. Motomeru. Again, we had this with the crystal stars. Motomete. It's like to find, to ask, to seek something, right? So he asks us like directly. He like pleads with us. He wants us to look for Princess Peach. So that's what it means here. Peachy hime o sagashite hoshii. So sagasu means to find something, somebody. Shite hoshii. When you put hoshii to a verb like this, shite with the te form, hoshii, it means you want somebody to do something. And this is really important because hoshii can be used in lots of different ways too, to mean want, but it's not going to be with this meaning of wanting another person to do it. So if you say like something like taberu means to eat, if you say tabete hoshii, it means you want somebody else to eat whatever it is you're talking about, okay? Not you. You don't want to eat it, you want somebody else to eat it, okay? So be careful here. Sagashite hoshii. He wants us to look for Princess Peach. Peachy hime o sagashite hoshii to. So that's what he says. To is the quoting particle here. So yeah, we had to with this meaning, with the meaning of and, a connector, but here it's the quoting particle. So just like here earlier, not this, to kakareteiru, this right here, what's written, whatever that came before to. So here it's a quoting particle again, but it's indirect speech. It's not in quotation marks, but still, it works the same way. Peach Himeを探してほしいと、I want you to look for Princess Peach とマリオに、to Mario に助けを求めます。So 助け like help を求めます。So he seeks help from us by wanting us to look for Princess Peach, pretty much. 果たしてピーチ姫はどこに行ってしまったのでしょうか? Alrighty, a cool sentence to end things on. For now, 果たして. 果たして means like three things, but here we'll settle on like where in the world, like what is going on. 果たして what? 果たしてピーチ姫はどこに行って果たしてピーチ姫は topic marker, yay, we love full sentences. はどこ where, like where. If we put ka here, as in どこ誰か like here 誰か from who it goes to somebody. If I put this ka to どこ, it means どこか somewhere. Okay, are you catching on? So yeah, this is similar to somewhere, somehow, somebody, this some in English. But we don't have this here. どこに where どこに行ってしまったんでしょうかどこに行ってしまったのでしょうか Great! So here we have this ka, which is what I told you about without seeing it. First and foremost, we don't have a question mark here. We have this ka particle, which means it's a question, alright? But it's a softer question. It's not in your face, as in the same way that question mark was. It's not all big and scary. It's just kind of soft. どこにでしょうか Like, where is she? どこに行ってしまった Here we have しまった again. And 行って from 行く to go somewhere. 行ってしまった where in the world could she be? Where's she off to? Where'd she go? Whatever happened to her? Oh my god, 行ってしまったのでしょうか Alrighty, so here, let's take a look at でしょう でしょう is like des. In a lot of ways, it can be an ender, but it's also a bit more uncertain. It is more uncertain, but it adds this like, it sort of appeals to you, for you to do the thinking. Like, let's think together, let's huddle up and ponder this. Like, where did she go? でしょう It's this like softer question. Okay, it can also be used instead of mas with masho, but masho would be like an invitation to do something together, like a straightforward thing. Like, ikimashou, let's go! Or tabemashou, let's eat! Well, I mean, it's just an example, it's not that people use these exact verbs to convey what I just said, but still, masho is like, let's do it together, and desho is like, like, I wonder where she is. Something like that. And here, the final fun thing to discuss here is this no. Well, to be honest, there is a question mark here, but it doesn't really mess things up in the sentence. It's just, we can just end the sentence in どこでしょうか and this right here kind of like adds more to it. It's this artificial way, dare I put it this way, to make a question out of a sentence. In case it's unclear, okay? If it's unclear that this is a question, a soft question, let's make it bigger and bolder with this question mark. This is it, and finally, for part 1, we're gonna look at this right here, and this says 勃発する事件に新たな恋も Wowzers. So, okay. There are two things here that have to do with love. Alrighty, so, 勃発する. Okay, you guys, you're gonna remember this kanji pretty well, I'm pretty sure. 勃発. Again, we've seen Hatsu quite a few times in this video already, so you know what this is. This is for something to emerge, to happen for the first time. And this right here, the first botsu, is, again, it means the same thing pretty much, but it also exists in this one very important word, bokki, which means, bokki, this is the one, yeah, erection. So when you get a boner, that's the kanji that goes in it, so now you know what it is. Boppatsu shita. Jiken, right? Boppatsu suru. Not the past form, but the present, rather. Jiken. Jiken means some kind of occurrence, some kind of case. There is a case to solve. There is like something, some kind of, yeah, not a mystery necessarily, but something, some kind of occurrence, something is happening. All right, Jiken, because this right here, the first thing means koto, also a really common kanji, a beginner kanji, definitely. Means koto, something pretty much, and can be a counter for like cases, like things. Okay, so some kind of occurrence. Ni arata na koi mo. Ni arata na, a new koi, love mo. Question mark. Like this. Okay, this looks cute. So, aratana. Aratana means new. We also have atarashi, which is a more, I guess, everyday word for new. Arata would be used with something like it's a new era that's approaching, a new way of looking at things, something more dramatic, something bigger. So here, koi, this character koi means love. Mo. So yeah, what's left out here is that a new love has sprouted in this occurrence here. Yeah, so so yeah, all of this happening, and there is some kind of new love happening. Oh my god! So, by looking at this, we're supposed to understand that this is serious. There are a lot of things happening, and there sure are. This is an amazing game, so please play it if you haven't, and you just stumbled upon this video looking to learn Japanese, which is something I'm all about, please. This is enough for part 1, you guys. This video is lengthy as is, so I'm gonna have to split it in 3 parts. And this concludes our 2-hour foray into the world of Japanese. I really hope you enjoyed what I just put out. This is how it's gonna go. I have a lot of games to talk about, lots of things to discuss with you guys, so stay tuned, okay? And for now, peace. See ya. Have fun out there.